I have the remarkable privilege of sharing with you how we transformed a 200-year-old brand from this to this. So as always, I will start by showing you the process that we went through, or the scope of the project. We went through discovery, verbal identity, visual identity, sonic signature or sonic identity, and motion identity. For discovery, it started with an email that I received from Dr. Julie. They wanted to enter into the digital space and expand and really create a distinct voice in the market. For our immersion for Bible Society Ireland, we gathered a lot of reports that they had done already. And of course, we did our own research on top of that as well. For verbal identity, this is what we did. We looked at their values and their personality. Now, when we're looking at verbal identity, the values and the personality is really what you say. But what you say is based on who you are. And so it's very important as a brand to understand who you are, because your values and your personality define who you are as a brand, and in effect gives you the words or the verbiage or the language that you would use to speak in the market. And the whole point of this exercise is to be able to help the brand to be very concise and clear when it speaks. So there is no friction between who they say they are or who they think they are and how they actually speak in the market. Then we looked at tone of voice, and tone of voice is how you say what you say. And we looked at the value proposition, positioning statement, mission and vision statement, use cases, and examples. We also looked at renaming their brand. Now, for the purposes of this video and to make sure that the length is not too long, we are just going to look at the personality and the tone of voice. Now, for the personality, we start with the 12 brand archetypes, and these are only a baseline to help us to be able to build our messaging framework. We identified that Bible Society Ireland are a caregiver, sage, and innocent. And for the tone of voice that matches that personality is simplicity, assurance, and clarity. And these are the words that Bible Society would use. Again, this is a baseline. This is a place to start from. You can have synonyms that you can add to these. And so let's take a look at examples at the attributes of the tone of voice that we help them to define. The first one is simplicity. Bible Society Ireland is catering to a very wide audience, talking to Gen Z, and they're also talking to elderly people. They're talking to Irish people, and they're also talking to a diverse audience, because Ireland is very multicultural. To help them achieve that simplicity was very, very important. And let's look at an example of how that would work. Before, they had Bible Society Ireland exists to bring the word of God to all people in a language they understand, in an appropriate form, and at a price each one can afford. And so instead, we said Bible Society Ireland makes scripture easy to understand, accessible and affordable for everyone. It's straight to the point. It's very, very simple, everyday language that people use. Bible Society Ireland is a brand that has built trust over time. And we wanted to make sure that that remained there, that authority, that sense of assurance when you're dealing with Bible Society Ireland, we wanted to make sure that was clearly communicated. And it's important as well that when people are going through the Bible, and some of the research showed that people weren't interested in the Bible. And so as part of their marketing and part of their journey to encourage people to read the Bible, we encourage them to celebrate every milestone, every moment of progress as someone is continuing to read the Bible. Here's an example of what they had before. Please note that you have successfully completed the 5-day guide. You may now opt to relax or advance to the subsequent challenge. You've done it. You've completed the 5-day guide. Take a breather or discover the next challenge. Now, the word breather there is a very common term in Ireland. And so we, again, are infusing words that people already use in their everyday verbiage. And at the same time, we're encouraging them to move on to the next step. All right. And finally, the third attribute is clarity. Now, as we mentioned before, Bible Society Ireland is going into the digital space at a more aggressive pace than they were before. And because of that, they're going to encounter other brands that already exist in the space. So the more distinct that they are, the more clear that they are, the better the chances of the brand being able to connect with its audience. And so let's take a look at an example of what they had before. We are keen to conduct ourselves with full respect for our GDPR obligations Even if you sense that you are on our approved email list, may we ask you to kindly opt in again below. You can, of course, very easily, with one click, unsubscribe at any time. Okay, and so this is what we changed it to be. We value your privacy. To help us align with data protection laws, please confirm your subscription below. You can unsubscribe at any time. Here again, we're showing the simplicity, the clarity, and not speaking more than you need to. Right, now for the visual identity, what you see here is a couple of logos. Some of them are Bible Society Ireland's logo, and some of them are other Bible societies, because the Bible Society Ireland is part of the United Bible Societies. And so we have the American Bible Society, Canadian, we have the Scottish one, we have the Northern Ireland one, we have the British one, which is the Bible Society with the book and the center that's in the circular way. And we also have inspiration from the old logos that they had before. And then there's the hop. And the client really wanted for us to infuse the hop. And so we explored what that would look like, as well as other ideas. But I also want to take a moment here to say that Bible Society Ireland is a 200-year-old brand. And that's very significant. It's a legacy brand. That's what we would determine it as, a legacy brand. And so for a brand of this magnitude, in terms of impact, in terms of years in the market, you have to be very, very careful that you evolve the brand, as opposed to just a complete overhaul and doing everything again from scratch. We did a lot of sketching, but here are just some of the examples of what we did. And when we were looking at the hop, we discovered that Guinness already own the hop as a visual motif, as well as the Irish government. So to help Bible Society be distinct in market, it was going to be difficult for us to use the hop again. And so we suggested to the client to move away from that particular concept. We encouraged them to move away from that particular concept. And we explored rather the evolution of the existing mark. Again, taking advantage of the equity that has been built by the brand already. And this last option at the bottom right was the final solution. And so here is the evolution of the before and after. Now, as you can see, we took a lot of the elements that were existing in the logo, the current logo that existed at the time. We took a lot of those elements and evolved them to ensure that the glyph or the logo icon could be very, very visible, even at the very smallest scale. We then proposed to the client that we could still retain a lot of the identity of the brand as an Irish brand through other elements of the brand visual language itself. We could use color, we could use patterns, we could use a myriad of things and various things to be able to express the Irishness of the brand. And so for the color palette, we went with green, of course, because Ireland predominantly uses greens. And then we used other colors as well to complement the main green. And so this is the primary color, the green. And this secondary palette is the one that complements that primary palette. For the typography, we selected Intertite, which is a great typeface that works both as a headline typeface as well as a body typeface. And again, the brand is all about simplicity, so we did not want to have more than one typeface if we could. We just wanted to stick to the one typeface to keep it very simple, very accessible, and very immediate. And so now I'm going to show you the reorientation of the brand, or the different formats that the logo could appear in. And now the before and after. And now here's a look, an overview look of the evolution of the brand since 1981 all the way to 2025. And here's a look of the brand against other Bible societies in the world. And then we also always put our logos in a silhouette format. As a matter of fact, we design from the silhouette and we add color. But we always pair the logo as a silhouette against other logos to see the strength of the logo, because the real strength of your logo does not come from the color itself. You can imagine you're going to print your logo in black and white. You're going to do embroidery. So your logo will lose color at some point, or will need to be seen outside of the primary color that it uses. And so it's very important that you also present your logo and you in fact design the logo from a silhouette format that is black and white before you add any color, and assess, is it really strong as a silhouette? And now we're going to take a look at some examples in very small formats. Then one of the things that we always do to help reinforce the brand, and particularly the logo in the minds of the audiences that they're serving, is to reinforce the brand. We create what we call a visual motif or a logo motif. But in this case, and how we do that, how we achieve that, is by taking the logo itself and trying to see if we can reinforce it, creating patterns, taking elements of the logo and being able to create shapes that can reinforce the identity. But in the case of Bible Society Ireland, the glyph is excellent the way it looks, and we couldn't really use it as it is. And so instead, we took some of the equity from the existing glyph that we had redrawn, and we created a new graphic motif that is paired with the logo. And this is what we came up with. The great thing about that is Bible Society is all about the Bible, is all about discovery, is all about getting into the Word. And so this was the perfect vessel to be able to embody the images, to be able to embody different assets that we could use to reinforce the work that Bible Society Ireland does. Now, here's a look of this very graphic motif expanded into different grids. And then the next stage is to envision what the brand would look like in applications. Finally, we worked on the sonic and motion identity. Again, for the purposes of the length of this video, I have bundled them into one. And so for Bible Society Ireland, we were looking for a sonic signature that was simple, that was memorable, and that was lighthearted. You can imagine, again, the work that Bible Society Ireland is doing is preaching the gospel, is expanding on the good news. And so we wanted that to be reflected in the sonic signature as well as the motion. And for the motion, we wanted to reflect the idea of a dawning of a new day and an idea of hope as well. And so here is the sonic and the motion identity put together.
Bible Society Ireland.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you found this video valuable, please do like it. It will help us with the algorithm to make sure that this content is also shared to other people who found the same value that you did. And you can take it a step further and subscribe if you would like to see more content like this that we can put out for you. And finally, if you would like to work with Zarura, you can reach out to us with the contact details that are on the screen right now. Zarura operates from anywhere in the world. We have a company in Europe, we have a company in Zimbabwe, and so we can work with you from anywhere in the world. We also did a concept project for Eaton Lake, a brand in Zimbabwe, and if you're interested in how we approach that, there should be a card somewhere on the screen right now. Thank you so much and have a great day.